Hi, welcome to What's Cooking with Rochelle, and today we are making a decadent chocolate trifle, and I have a lovely guest with me, Danielle.
Hi.
Thank for joining us, Danielle.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
All right, so we're going to tag team this today together. We are using a boxed chocolate cake mix for the cake part of our trifle. And as you can see, what fruit are we using today?
We are using fresh organic strawberries and fresh organic raspberries.
Perfect.
Also, the strawberry jam is also organic.
Ooh, yummy, yummy. Okay, so I'm gonna get busy making the cake part. We do have our oven already on. It is preheated to 350 degrees. So if you haven't done that yet, get that started before you start everything else. And Danielle, I'm gonna ask if you can go ahead and get those strawberries deheaded. The first thing we're gonna do is dump the cake mix in the pan. I have here 3 eggs, so you're going to crack 3 eggs and add those into the mix. And so is this something you've made for your family before?
Yes. A lot of times I do make everything from scratch, but you know, I think it's the new trend now is that people are using box cake mixes, and then we call it zhuzhing, so we like zhuzh it up. So for me, I add like chocolate pudding, and instead of using all water and all oil, I use coffee.
Okay.
Because it brings, into the cake mix, because it brings out the flavors a little bit more in the chocolate.
Okay, perfect. So that's what the next thing I'm gonna add to our cake mix. We're adding 1 cup of drip coffee. If you wanted a stronger chocolate flavor, you could even add an espresso coffee instead. I'm also adding a half a cup of oil and a half a cup of water.
Oh, just on a side note, when you do make your coffee, make sure you either can use a cold brew, or make sure the coffee is already chilled, because if you pour hot coffee or even warm coffee into the batter, it's going to get really soft, the batter, and it's not going to, the cake won't be as moist, like in some respect.
Perfect. And so our coffee was obviously chilled. And they sell it at the store. So if you weren't thinking ahead of time, you don't either have coffee or have cold coffee. The cold brewed coffee is usually either in the dairy section or over by the orange juice in the refrigerated sections. You're doing an awesome job there, girl.
Thank you. Also, sometimes too, I'll use like a caramel macchiato coffee.
Ooh.
And then I usually add maybe like a half or even a quarter of a teaspoon of chili powder.
Oh, okay.
To the coffee, and maybe just a touch of cinnamon.
Okay.
Because it really brings out the chocolate flavors.
So depending on what flavor you want your cake base to be, you could do it also with an angel food cake. That's kind of traditional. You could do it with a white cake. And of course, you can make those cakes from scratch if you'd rather. And I am just about done.
Can I start making the chocolate pudding?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we have 2 packages of chocolate pudding, and to that we're just making it per the package directions, and we added 2 cups of cold milk. And there was a spoon to stir that up with.
Thank you. I usually make the pudding ahead of time and just stick it in the fridge. And I like to put a piece of plastic on top, otherwise you get that film on top of your pudding, and nobody wants to eat the film on top of the pudding.
Good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a good tip. So once your cake mix is in the oven cooking, the next thing you'd probably want to do is get the chocolate pudding going. And, you know, during the time that it's going to take this to cook, that would set up pretty easily in the fridge. And you can see we've almost got this. When you use a boxed...
Just a drop.
Oh, just a drop. Okay.
I just like a drop of vanilla.
That was vanilla. We added a drop of vanilla to our box cake mix. So what I was starting to tell you is when you mix a cake batter, when you see it change and start to glisten from the darker chocolate to the lighter, that's when you know it's mixed and ready to go. Okay, so we are making 2 layers for ours. So I have 2 pans here that I'm just going to coat really quickly with some oil. If you didn't want to use a spray, you could coat it with butter, or you could even make it with some EVO. And we're just going to kind of eye that to split it in half. If you wanted to make it even more layers, you could absolutely do 4 or 3 and just divide the batter up that way.
A lot of times too, I'll make a sheet cake.
Oh, and then cut it.
Right, so that I can do the squares on it and everything. So
Okay,
it just
guys.
depends. I'm just going to rinse my fingers.
I'm going to go ahead and get these in the oven.
Now, sometimes with the strawberries, I like to put a little alcohol in the strawberries to kind of soak them, if you like to do that. So, you know, it just depends.
What do you normally use? What kind of alcohol?
Anything
Is it
more of a sweet,
rum, or is it
like a Grand Marnier?
a Grand Marnier, like a cordial?
Yeah, something
Okay.
that's more like a, or even like a dessert wine. You can even soak a little bit of it in there too.
Okay.
Or what I like to do is just put a little bit of sugar on top.
the strawberries?
And then just bring out the, you know, the sugar in the strawberries just to let them kind of settle in. So that way when you taste it, it has that little bite to it. Yeah.
We have here 2 packages, or containers, I guess I should say, of Cool Whip.
Yes.
And so you could use any kind of whipped cream that you'd like. You can make it from scratch. I've shown you guys how to do that before with just adding a little bit of sugar and vanilla. And so to the store-bought, we are just adding a little bit of vanilla just to give the Cool Whip more of a taste. And I'm just gonna mix that in. Now when you're making trifle, one of the cool things about it is to be able to show the little layers. So this is a trifle dish. When you make trifle, one of the cool things about it is to be able to show the beautiful layers. So it's usually made in glass. Now that doesn't mean that it has to be, right?
No.
But you know, Danielle is such a sweetheart. She brought this to my house today, did you not?
Yes, because a couple weeks ago, my mom is having an estate sale, and she's selling her items. And Rochelle was looking around my mom's house, and my mom was an antique dealer for 56 years, and she has
lots of stuff.
like 20,000 items probably. The only thing she did not have was a
trifle dish.
And Rochelle was telling me she really, really wants a trifle dish. I went with my mom, and we went shopping and antique shopping out in Lake Havasu. And one of the first things that I saw was this trifle dish. And I said, oh, I have to get this for you.
Yeah.
And then I thought today, because she was asking me what I would like to make, and I thought, why not use it today and make a trifle?
Cool. So cool. So not only is she being the guest on What's Cooking with Rochelle, but she brought me a dish, guys. All right, so we are going to be doing what inside this dish? Let's tell them what's going to be going on.
Okay, so basically when the cakes are done and we let them cool, we're going to then, you know, pop them out, put them on a cutting board, and then we're going to cut them up into little squares. Like probably maybe about, like if you make like a little OK sign, just a little circle, and then just let them cool. So normally what we do is we put down, I like to do like a foundation. So I usually like to add just a little bit of the whipped cream just on the bottom. And then when you layer the cake, as we're going to show you later, you can layer the cake around and then in the middle. Then the next layer, you put a little bit of whipped cream, you put a little bit of the strawberry, and then you can also start dolloping a little bit of the strawberry jam.
So tell them the reason that you would be putting the jam in here.
it just gives it a nice consistency and the flavor, and it kind of tightens up all the cake all together. Like the whipped cream is like the glue.
Right.
This would also be like the glue.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so I know some other things while she's, this is a little bit of sugar. Now, why am I adding just a little bit of sugar to our strawberries?
It kind of brings out the flavors in the strawberries, and you could even let it sit out. You don't need a lot, maybe like a tablespoon or so, and just kind of just give it a quick stir, and it just brings out the flavors in the strawberries. Also, if you're making other dishes, like if you're doing like ice cream, you could do like a scoop of vanilla ice cream. And then I like to add a thick syrup balsamic vinegar. You just add a little drizzle on top with the sugar, and you just let it kind of ferment a little bit for about 25 minutes or so. And then you just put on top of the ice cream. And I know when you bite into it, it makes you kind of do that pucker, like a pucker. The strawberries almost become like a lemon, like that lemon consistency, and it's absolutely delicious.
If you've never made strawberries with balsamic, she's talking a balsamic glaze. You can also add a little fresh cracked pepper to them. It's amazing the difference that the strawberry transforms into. You're 100% correct. So we are done with our prepping. This is all we had to do. All right, now we're waiting on is our cake to cook. As soon as that's done, we'll see you back here. All right, we've taken our cakes out of the oven. They have cooled for just a couple of minutes. And so we're ready to get started on the layering part. I'm gonna be cutting the cakes while she is doing the magic over here.
So just kind of like what we talked about before is just doing, I like to call it the glue on the bottom. So I just take a little bit and I just spread it. And you want to kind of get it on the edges a little bit, because the whole point of a trifle is to show the sides. The middle looks okay, but the sides are really like what you really want to show, and kind of want to get it as neat as possible. I do apologize. So,
It's all good.
yeah. So you kind of want to.
And while she's doing that, I am simply cutting these into some squares. And as usual, there's no specific size it has to be. You can see on the corners, you've got a triangle, and then you've got some squares from the center.
So can I start?
You can take away, girl. These are for you and your...
So I would cut them just a little bit smaller. Yeah, because you want it more like a bite size, so when you take a scoop, ooh, they came out nice and fudgy. Can I try one?
You can try one.
Let's try one.
We're tasting early. My best part.
That's good. That's a good fudgy. It's almost like a brownie.
Yeah, when you add the coffee, that little bit of vanilla that we added, and then you'll see that the cake mix is a little bit runnier than it would normally be, but that's okay, guys, because as it cooks, it will set up. If you've ever watched my video, the one that I did, it's called Texas Sheet Cake. That is kind of the same kind of base that we're using here. So you could absolutely use that base for your cake in this if you wanted to. All right, so you can see she's put the little pieces on the sides there. And the next layer then we are going to use in that is the pudding.
Yes, we're gonna just do little dollops of pudding. I'm actually breaking them up into a little more bite size in the middle.
You go ahead.
So that way it kind of fills up. Just like that. And then we can add our pudding.
And that was just the boxed pudding mix, guys, that we added regular milk to. If you wanted to make it non-dairy, you could use a non-dairy milk instead of regular milk in your pudding. You could also do it from scratch.
Okay.
Whatever you prefer.
And let's add just a little bit more whipped cream.
So after the pudding, add one more little layer of whipped cream. And again, we're trying to make it look beautiful, so you want to kind of touch it around.
If it's not perfect, it's okay, because once they go into it, it all comes out really delicious with all the different flavors. And then I'm just going to add some strawberries around the edges.
Ooh.
So you can kind of see.
And you can see how our strawberries are glistening now because we added that little bit of sugar to them.
Okay. A little bit of strawberries. What's another fun idea too to do with a trifle is that you can make a 7-layer bean dip, which is a lot of fun too. So it's basically the same kind of ingredients.
Dish.
Yes, in the dish too.
Not together.
Not together. Unless you're doing Friends, when she did that on Friends.
Oh, did she really?
Yes, she did. She made a trifle with a shepherd's pie.
Oh my gosh.
Because it had meat in it, and Joey was like, oh, meat's good. So, and now I'm just adding a little bit of raspberries to it around the edges. So I always laugh whenever I see a trifle that, you know, reminds me of Friends.
Oh my gosh, that's too
So,
funny.
you know, because her pages got stuck together. So when she mixed the pages up, everyone was like, what is that? Oh, I need a different spoon.
You want a different
Yeah,
spoon?
because I don't want the jelly to get. Okay, perfect. And now we're just going to kind of take the jam and just put it around.
The edges, guys.
Yes.
We're putting it on the edges where the fruit itself
Because
was.
it's more like the presentation of it. Again, it's not going to be the neatest. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. But as long as you get those yummy flavors in there.
All right, excellent.
And then whipped cream.
Time for whipped cream.
And then just kind of spread it. You don't want to mix the others together. So it's kind
So
of...
you're trying to keep it separated from the jelly. You don't want to mix the
Yes.
jelly into it.
Yes.
You can spin it. Make it easier on yourself, girl.
Do you want to lose the...
So you can see as she's doing this, guys, she's adding it to the edges. So we're kind of keeping the center out. And then the next layer is what? The cake again?
Yes, ma'am. If you want to sprinkle some of the cake.
I can do that. We can do this together.
And I like to put rip them up into smaller pieces, and it's okay if it's raw, like raw ripping. It's okay because they look like little brownie bites now.
And they taste like little brownie bites
Yes.
too.
It's really good. Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, just let's put a little right there.
You can check it out.
Yeah,
Make sure
perfect.
We're good. Okay.
Okay, next, let's do some pudding.
All right. So the chocolate cake and the
Yeah.
chocolate pudding go on the same layers. The raspberries and strawberries with the strawberry jam go on the same layers.
And
then-
I'm using my fingers. I do apologize. They're clean, but it makes it easier when you're putting down the pudding because it's a little bit thicker. So when you do it around the edges,
it sets up that way better.
exactly, and it just looks pretty. So it's okay, everybody. It's fun to play.
I always say you get to get in your hands and have fun a lot of the time.
That's the whole point of cooking.
Well, it's one of the things. You get to be a kid,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
And so you can see how we're building it up. We're making it look pretty on the outsides. In the insides, it doesn't matter so much.
Okay. Let's put a little jam.
Oh, you know, strawberry jam on this?
Yes.
Okay. And then I will grab you another.
Yeah, I didn't want to lick my fingers
Paper
on
towel.
camera, so I didn't
It's
think.
okay.
No, I would not.
I've done it.
It would be fun, though.
Don't tell on me, guys.
You can kind of fill it in a little bit with the whipped cream and then
There you
just
go,
start.
darling.
Thank you. Sorry for the mess.
It's all right.
Okay.
You want to do your hands and I'll
Yes.
finish the whipped cream while you're doing that?
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm sorry I'm a messy cook, huh?
There is
Okay.
no wrong.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
And then what are we going to do next?
We'll add some strawberries.
All right, we're going to add strawberries next, guys.
Again, try to get it on the edge. Oops, sorry.
Sorry, dear. There we go.
Okay. And then we want to save some strawberries for on top for decoration. So just save yourselves just a little bit. Oop, strawberry down.
It's okay. I can save
Okay.
the soldiers.
Save the soldiers. Okay. You can also, if you're a neat person, like a neat person, you can wipe down as you're going.
The edge,
Yes.
so you have the clean lines.
Right. Now I would fill the inside
With the cake?
Yes,
All
definitely.
right, let's fill her up.
And just save a little bit for on top.
All right.
And then we can add.
All right. I'm going to switch out a couple of those for a couple of those.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. And then we're just going to add the pudding in the middle. Because you're going to.
I can smooth it out.
Yeah. I got it. There we go.
When was the first time you ever made a trifle? Do you remember how old you were?
I was probably 22.
22.
I was thinking about it.
Oh, and do you remember what you made it for?
It was for a birthday party for a friend.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
And did they like it?
Yes, and it came out really good. I actually used Oreo cookies.
Oh.
Yeah, I made Oreo cookies. I bought the Oreo cookies, I should say, and then I made the chocolate pudding and then the whipped cream and all the other fun stuff. And I'm just gonna sprinkle a couple of the raspberries around.
Okay. And then we're gonna put the rest of the whipped cream in there?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want the strawberry jelly?
Sure, you can just kind
Sprinkle
of.
that around the edge here?
Mm-hmm. And I'll save some strawberries and raspberries for on top.
Perfect. And as you can see, guys, we are almost done.
Okay, and then we will just put it in the middle, and then I will spread it out.
Okay.
Okay. Can I give you that?
You can absolutely give
Thank
me
you.
that. Look at that skill, guys.
Years of cake making, I guess. Okay.
I don't know the first time I made a trifle was. It certainly wasn't on my radar, I don't think, when I was in my 20s. But
That's the fun part of
we've
having
made a few over the years.
of having a trifle, dish is that you can make so many different things with it. Dips and all kinds of other fun things.
Do we want any for the center, or are we done?
I think
can
we're
keep the
done.
rest.
I was going to put the strawberries in the middle.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
And would you like to try? You can have the couple there.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Hopefully we have enough. If not, we can.
I have some in the fridge.
I cheat. There we go. See, raspberries are easy to split in half, and then it looks like you got enough for.
Everything.
Yes, ma'am. It's more the presentation than anything else. You just want it. Oop, we're missing one.
That's all right.
Uh-oh.
Cut that guy.
No, I have OCD. I have to. There we go. Okay, and there you go.
Excellent. All right. It smells and looks delicious.
Oh,
I am
wait.
excited.
I forgot one thing. Hold on.
All right.
Because, so I buy these at your local dollar store. It's like a chocolate syrup. And then
Do a drizzle.
I also buy the caramel.
Okay, so we're doing a drizzle of chocolate and caramel on top to make it oh so more decadent.
Yes. There you
All
go.
right. Well, we are going to go ahead and get a couple bowls so we can dig in this, and we'll see you back here in just a second. All right, Danielle.
Yes.
We're here.
Oh, boy.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to do the honors.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to scoop us each a nice big,
Make sure you get some pudding in there.
I'm going to scoop us each some pudding and strawberries and yumminess.
Oh, my God. Oh, boy. Oh, that's good. Oh, my God.
on now, don't be shy with me.
I know. Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's give it a taste. Are you happy?
Mm-hmm. Is it good?
I love it.
Let me try the cake.
Okay, try the cake.
You know what's nice is that the cake is not too sweet
Yeah.
because you have so much sweetness from like the pudding, the whipped cream, the strawberries, and the jam. So the cake kind of like balances it out. Otherwise, it would just be like one note.
Right.
So at least you kind of get, you know, a little bit of a.
And the fresh fruit is a different texture than the whipped cream and the cake. So it kind of gives you a little bit of different feels in the mouth. Try a trifle. If you don't have the dish, you can make it in anything. But this just makes it look pretty, right? Thank you, Danielle, for bringing us Decadent Chocolate Trifle.
You're welcome.
And thank you, everyone out there, for watching What's Cooking with Rochelle. Make sure to subscribe if you like this and check out one of the other recipes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.